Hey guys, me here, and so as you may be able to see below me, you might not be able to see it down here, we have an old Optiplex, basically an old Dell the equivalent to an old i7 Dell Optiplex. And so yeah, I bought some parts to make it a gaming PC, so yeah, so I got the RX 570 8GB DDR5 edition. Pretty good card. And this I already put it in so I could install some stuff for benchmarking. Is this TP-Link Wi-Fi adapter. So you'll see it's already in there when I'm putting it in there, but that doesn't really matter, it's just a Wi-Fi card. So yeah, let's get on to the benchmarking. So this is like the perfect case scenario, like someone gives you a cheap PC and yeah, it's easy to like just pop something in there. So yeah, we're gonna see, and it's like I already obviously have a good setup, but I wanted this so I could, for my sister. So yeah, I'm just putting the graphics card in there. I already put a Wi-Fi card in there, and we're gonna see how it goes. Okay, so for our first benchmark, we have Minecraft at low settings, 1080p, on the integrated graphics, and at rendering 2 chunks, we're getting 60 FPS, which is not very good for Minecraft. But once we started recording in the background with OBS, we were hovering around 7, 8, and 6 FPS, which, not very good. So, this was one of my favorite indie games, RAFT, and so running at 720p, we were getting about 11 FPS on low settings, all low, and the weird thing about this game is that like switches screen to like the size instead of upscaling it, so it was a little annoying. So after we changed it from 720p to 420p, as you can see here, it went from going to about 11 FPS to 30 consistently. Now 11, I guess you could say, is sort of playable in this game until you get into the later stages of the game. But yeah, this is about as good as we could do with this game. Otherwise, the text on the screen was unreadable. Alright, so our final benchmark game is Counter-Strike Global Offensive, and I didn't realize there was a console command to show the FPS counter in this game, and Fraps was not working, so sorry if you can't see the FPS. But I can assure you that this game was not running very well. You can probably see that too. Based on how it felt to play it, I'd say it's running at good times 15 FPS, at bad times 5. But it was this weird own kind of fun. Like, the graphics were so bad, it was sort of weird trying to like beat bots in this game. Normally I ace every time just in bot matches, but this time it was like hard to kill 2 of them. So this is the last game I benchmarked because I didn't really think of playing VALORANT, even though it is meant for bad PCs, and I didn't expect it to run very well anyway, and I think you already got the general consensus of how well these games run. So we're gonna move on to the benchmarks with the graphics card. 4 our first benchmark, we have Minecraft at 1080p all high settings. I forgot to turn clouds on, but I don't think that'll make too much of a difference with the GPU inside of the computer, and we are getting about 120 FPS, rendering 17 chunks. And before I started recording, I tried out low graphics settings, and we were actually hitting about 400 frames per second. I also tried out the TNT stress test, and it did pretty well. I mean, it didn't crash my computer like it did last time. Sorry, I didn't get that on video either. For our second benchmark with the graphics card in, we have VALORANT, which was running on all high settings at 1080p, we were getting about anywhere in between 200 and 150 FPS. So we weren't doing very bad at all. Honestly, this game could make you buy a 144Hz monitor if you want. I only use a 70Hz monitor, but this game runs very well, and I mean it is very, very optimized, but still, on all high settings, this game runs very well. So for our third benchmark game, we have Counter-Strike Global Offensive running at 1080p and all maxed out settings, and we are usually getting around 120 to 100 FPS, and on a few times it bumped up to 160, and the lowest I saw it go down to was 90. So definitely in the playable realm, even in competitive matches. I honestly expected it to do a little bit worse, but, you know, surprise. Alright, so by far the most demanding game on this list, for our final benchmark, we have Call of Duty Warzone Modern Warfare running at 1080p medium-low, and we are seeing anywhere from 120 frames per second to 60, just some weird drops, but I mean, I was playing on a 60Hz monitor, but I I didn't notice it. But I would say definitely lower all the graphics options to low if you want to play competitive. But considering this is a 2020 modern game running on this computer, it's pretty good, and it's definitely playable, even on a 60Hz monitor. So you know, and I mean, I'm not very good at the game, but yeah, it's very good. As for streaming on Twitch, I started a Valorant live stream at 720p 60Hz, and while seeing some frame drops and buffering, it was overall great. The game played at about 95 FPS, and real-time interaction is very possible with about 3 seconds of stream delay. So now that you have seen this video, I hope that you are informed about how you can have relatively high-spec PC gaming on a budget. And yeah, it's definitely possible. I would suggest upgrading something like a Dell Optiplex or something equivalent with an i5 or an i7. Anything lower probably won't be worth it, and bottlenecking will be an issue. Now, stop listening to me. Go upgrade the crap out of your grandma's hand-me-down PC. See ya.